Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, and in this video on General English, we are going to talk about some remaining rules on articles. So as you must be aware that in the previous video, we were discussing all those cases where we don't have to use any article. So we'll continue in the same line and look at some more cases in this video. And the next rule is before plural countable nouns used in a general sense. This means whenever in a sentence you have any plural countable noun, you don't have to use any article before it. So plural countable nouns are all those nouns which can be easily counted. And since they can be counted, we can easily form their plural also. For example, boys, pens, tables, chairs, like this. So we look at the example. Children like chocolates. Computers are used in many offices. So this means children and computers. Both these words are plural countable nouns and we haven't used any article before them. The next thing which is important is that these two sentences, they talk in a very general sense and not in any specific manner. That's why the rule applies over here. We can now move ahead to the third case which says before languages. So that means whenever in a sentence you have mention of any language, please don't use any article with it. Let's look at the examples. We are studying English. They speak Tamil at home. Alright, so I hope these two cases are clear and we can now move ahead to the fourth case which says before most proper nouns except those referred to earlier, namely. So let's just stop over here for a second and I want to remind you something. You must be aware that in one of our previous videos, I gave you some very specific cases of proper nouns where we have to use the. So they were the names of certain seas and oceans, they were the names of your canals, rivers, deserts, and so on. So except those cases, you try to avoid using any article before proper nouns. Let's look at the examples. Names of persons. Whenever you have the name of any person, please don't use any article. Like you simply say Gopal, Kareem, and like this. You don't use any article here. Names of continents, countries, cities, etc. So in all these cases, don't use any article. For example, Europe, Pakistan, Pune. Names of individual mountains, Mount Everest, individual islands, lakes, hills, etc. So please remember this word individual. That case which we did was for mountain ranges and not for individual peaks. Similarly, before the names of individual islands, don't use any article. I hope this is clear and we can now move ahead to talk about the next case. Now this is an interesting one. Before names of meals used in a general sense. So whenever in a sentence you have the name of any of the meals, you don't use any article. For example, what time do you have your lunch? Dinner is ready. So that means both these sentences, they talk in a very general manner. That's why we don't use any article before the names of meals. But we use a when there is an adjective before breakfast, lunch or dinner, and we use the when we specify. So that means whenever in a sentence you have any adjective or any description given before these words, breakfast, lunch or dinner, in that case you have to use a. Or if you are talking about any specific meal, then you have to use the. Let's look at the examples. I had a late lunch today. So this means lunch was late. Or I had it a very late time. Alright, so that's why we have used a over here. The dinner we had at the Mughal hotel was very nice. So that means now we are talking about a specific case or a specific dinner. Which one? The one we had at the Mughal hotel. I hope this is clear and we'll talk about the last case on articles which is repetition of the article. When two or more adjectives qualify the same noun, the article is used before the first adjective only. So this means whenever in a sentence you have a single noun and you use multiple adjectives for it. In that case, you simply have to use the article only before the first adjective. For example, I have a black and white dog. So dog is the noun over here and black and white are the two adjectives used for dog. So the rule says use article only before the first adjective. That's why we have used a only before black. Next. But when these adjectives qualify different nouns, the article is normally used before each adjectives. So if in a sentence you have different nouns and different adjectives, then you have to repeat the article or you have to use it separately before both or before the given adjectives. For example, the secretary and the treasurer are absent. So you have two separate nouns and you have used the articles separately. And since these are two different persons, so we have used a plural verb also. I hope this is clear. Till we come up with the next video on some very important questions on articles, please keep studying and keep practicing. Thank you.